I've went on YouTube. This is Noggin making another one of my live. I'm a live YouTube stream. So I'm breaking the rules today. And I'm eating while I'm doing my live stream because I'm hungry. Plus, I wanted to show you what I made. So this is Alfredo. It's not Alfredo, it's lasagna, okay? Italian style, chipotle flavor. Not your usual, like macaroni and cheese. Although some people are stuck to that if they like cheese. And I have to say this is pretty good. Although, one of my favorite food is Alfredo. I like anything creamy, right? And Alfredo is definitely delicious. What I like about Italian food is when they combine like several forms of cheese. And their cheese are really good. So let me show you what it is. And all I did was I kind of spruce it up and added a little bit of mayo. If you want it more like a thick, and then just salt and pepper if you want to play up the flavor. And since I did buy this at Big Lots, I sprinkled some of the hemp seasoning that I got from there. So essentially it has hemp in it, which is a form of weed, and a bunch of other stuff. And it really plays up the flavor. Because what I'm learning in psychology, we eat food that satisfies us. Flavor. So, that's the arguments of a lot of vegan is that why not go vegan, right? Because you can take any vegetable and just pour barbecue sauce on it, right? But I'm sure there's a lot more complex things that you need to think out before doing that. Like, can your body handle it, right? I've heard strange stories where people try to deny themselves. I think like a yoga thing where it's not just exercise, but meditation, like transcendental. And part of the thing was to not let their members drink when they want to drink. And I guess one of their members, she passed away, So yes, you can diet, but everybody's body is different, right? So what helps somebody else makes their lives better. You might die from it, when you try to eat somebody else's diet. But this is really good. I even forgot that I had it in my cabinet. Which goes to say that God does take care of us. We don't need to worry because worry doesn't help the situation. And at least in my area, from what I experienced during the coronavirus pandemic, ironically, private agencies like Mary's Kitchen, Share Ourselves, Soup Kitchen, and Southwest Community Center in Santa Ana, Share Ourselves in Costa Mesa, and Mary's Kitchen in Orange. Private, not a public agency, small. They were the ones who helped out during the coronavirus pandemic. Nobody else. Nobody else. I was surprised, like all the preaching and the teachings in church. Guess what? Church closed, slammed their doors on people when they need it the most. Right? So you see the hypocrisy, you know? But my point is, yes, at the beginning of this, you go to the store, start off with no toilet paper, then no food. And even if you had money, there was nothing to buy on the shelf. People were starting to get worried, right? And I get it, but did all the worry and the frenzy and the fighting and the hoarding of toilet paper and stuff really help the whole situation? It doesn't, right? And I not only see hypocrisy, I saw a lot of hoarding. Like when I was at the Dollar Tree, I don't shop there anymore because they're very disrespectful. They're not just me, pretty much everybody. But over dollar items, I saw, it looked like an Asian guy come in there. And at the time, I was buying milk off the shelf for me and Rositos. Because although they said, don't give cats milk, Sita loved it. And she wasn't getting sick, right? So I think each case is different. Just like, some people are lactose intolerant and some aren't. And how I see it, if Besito is going to drink it, it doesn't bother her, I let her have some. But I came in one time, Asian guy, and he looked like he could be Chinese. And this is the weird thing, you guys. When all of that happened, I would see people like him in my community. I never saw them before. They would go into the Dollar Tree, and maybe this has to do with what my boyfriend's combating, Chinese birthing, because Irvine is like in my backyard to Costa Mesa. And Orange, right? And Anaheim, others. But he came in, he literally pulled off every single shelf of milk off the shelf. And Dollar Tree, they're so dumb. I'm going to tell it the way it is, however way they get offended. They didn't do anything about him doing that, but they want to argue about stupid stuff in their store, right? So I was like, other places are regulating milk, right? Because people are really being like hoarding now. And I said, aren't you going to regulate like how many like milk this guy can pull off the shelf? Nope. He literally took everything off the shelf. Which meant somebody like me isn't going to have milk. It is what it is, folks. Push comes to shove. You'll see how pathetic people are. Things is a matter of perspective. Pathetic. Like, for example, today, my sister, the one that says, oh, she was going to give internet to their mom, but make sure I don't have it because, hello, I already have it with AT&T and I get it for $10, right? Where she has to pay $100. But she thinks she's special. So she was making sure that, their mom gets to use it. But I can't use it and her brother can't use it. Very selfish, right? And first and foremost, we didn't even ask her if we could use it. It is that shitty, super shitty, right, mentality. And all you could do is expose it, and people can learn not to be like that and just avoid people like that. So anyway, she was here today, and she has another boyfriend. I would tell you something about my sister. She has a boyfriend, or used to. Now it's starting up again, like a boyfriend every month, literally. And most of them are Vietnamese. So today she had another guy, and it doesn't help if she wants to be like that, right? But she brings all these guys here, right, to where I live. And just to expose to you how shitty and pathetic her thinking is, because she thinks she's all right. What I find interesting in psychology is the things people say, not directly to you, right? To me, it's no different. So she was here, I guess, with another Vietnamese guy. And I overheard her telling the Vietnamese guy, do you want this chair? Because my neighbor gave me a big Route 66. It's like, right? Very popular. So it was a big retro chair that my neighbor gave me. Because, he didn't really take a liking to that. He said the chair, need a little fixing. But I love American vintage, and that's Route 66, right? So I rolled that chair to my house, and it's very interesting. It's very big, like this. Except like my neighbor says, it does need to be worked on, like the bolts and stuff to be tight. Because if you were to lean back like this, you'll probably go, whoa. But my neighbor gave it to me. So what does she does? She goes tell this Vietnamese guy, do you want that chair? It's like, it's my chair, right? Like, what the fuck? So, I stood up and I went out in the living room. I said, what are you talking about? I said, that's my chair. And you know what she said? She goes, I was just kidding. Okay, I could tell you she wasn't kidding. She wasn't kidding. She was seriously like going to offer him the chair. And if he wanted it, Off they go put the chair in the car. And if I was asleep and I didn't know it, they would have my chair. But see, that's that's a sense of entitlement, right? It's my sister, right? My daughter, right? You want that chair, right? That kind of air. And just to show you how pathetic her thinking is, and it's all comes from inferiority complex. Peons. I'd say they're peons on a power trip. Even after the baby was born, Besitos had her baby. All they did was bitch and whine and complain about it. How are you going to take care of the babies, right? So, and now the babies are out. They are constantly bothering the babies in their face, touching them all the time. And then she goes telling me that one of her Vietnamese friends already likes Bianca. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? Like, seriously, what the fuck's wrong with these people? Right? I gotta get Bianca. She's too cute. Plus, my hat looks like Bianca. Doesn't my hat look like Bianca? Don't we look alike? This is her tail. So yeah, right when Besito had her baby, they didn't do anything to help. Bitch, whine, fucking complain about it, right? And then, later she comes back and tells me like some of her Vietnamese friends, which I have never even met, is interested in Bianca already. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with these people? Right? It's like they gotta see like what money or material shit they can get like all the fucking time. So materialistic. It's maddening. It's pathetic. Them and their Orange County purses. So when she told me that, like she has some unknown, one of her Vietnamese pathetic friends has her mind on Bianca, I chewed my sister out. She thinks she's all like, right? Like she could talk shit behind my back. But when I confront her, it's a different story. So I told her, I said, who the fuck are your friends? I said, were your friends there to deliver the babies? Are your friends there taking care of the cats? Have I met your friends? Do your friends know me? Do they even know what the fuck is going on? God gave me these kitties because my last dog passed away and Besitos, right? She's my new pet. And I thought she was enough of a blessing. But, with God, with God, he wants our cup to overflow with, right? So that's when Lucille got pregnant. On a day that Casito didn't think she was going to live her, and I did not either. If you look at some of the videos that I uploaded, she was so laid back. Yeah, I had no idea, and I don't think she had any idea that that was the day. And when it happened, honestly, it was surreal. Like, I couldn't even have time to question, like, is there really babies coming out of Basito's butt? All I had to do was, you know, be there for Besitos and apply what YouTube taught me, you know, which is just to be there, just to pet her, you know, but not pet her too much, and just help her with the process, right? A lot of that was when the baby came out, to just put my hands there, right? Just let the process happen. Just put my hand there and get ready for any problems, right? You know, maybe the umbilical cord is tied around the neck, or, you know, like a lot of YouTube says that when kittens are born, you kind of help them want to breathe by kind of rubbing them like this, right? Like when she came out, it is her white hair. And she has actually a silver lining to it, like an angel. I know it's cream, but when you look at it sideways, it's like little silver. When she came out, she was all white. And I thought she had, you know, she had no hair. She looked like a rat. But I was like, oh, she does have hair. It's just, you know, it's white. Each and every single one came out. Cupid was first, Bianca was second, Asta was third, and Donati was the last one. But, you know, like a lot of time, there's miscarriages, right? Sometimes not all the babies come out alive. So I made sure when they came out, you know, I rubbed them like this, just to see if they're responding, right? And they're not dead. They take their first breath. And it was the most beautiful thing to see these babies like take their first breath. And throughout the whole process, all they did was fucking bitch and whine and complain about it. Now they won't leave the babies alone. They won't leave the babies alone. And, you know, they're talking about, yeah, these unknown Vietnamese bitches, my sister's friend, they're talking about taking my cats from me. I told my sister, over my fucking dead body you are. Over my fucking dead body you are. My sister knows too. When my sister acts stupid, I tell her, fight me over it, bitch. She backs off. She keeps her mouth shut. Skinny little ass. My sister's pathetic. She's pathetic. She's a typical wannabe in Orange County where she flaunts, you know, her little Chanel purses that I had to protect in Southwest Plaza Mall. And then one time, she's so pathetic. She was having a hissy fit that I helped her sell out her whatever Ninja blender, and the girl who got it was short of $5, which my sister said that, you know, she was just gonna give the blender away if nobody wanted to buy it, right? But I ended up finding somebody who'd buy it, and she snatched the $40, didn't even give me any credit for selling it, and gave the girl who bought it a hard time over $5. And that's pathetic. If you're really rich, why would you do that? Right? The girl obviously doesn't have $5. She's like struggling mother. Um, um, yeah. So, when, and then Dodo Bird was so big into being a bitch, like a lot of bitches. She, the girl who took the ninja, Miss Dodo Bird forgot to put in the most important part in it, which is the blade. So essentially, she got $40 and gave this girl a blender without the essential, the blade. Total idiot. So when I came back into the house, she was trying to give me a hard time. Over $5. Pathetic. So I told her. I said, "You want your $5? Bite me." Bite me. Come and get it. Of course, the little skinny Vietnamese ass backed off. They're pathetic. Pathetic. If life is a matter of perspective, I loved popping the bubbles of people who think they're all powerful because they're like suffering from an inferiority complex. I love popping their bubbles. And then their mom, right, was telling their boyfriend, I don't really care what they say. I'm just saying, I find it very interesting that people, the way they talk and how they back talk. Like my sister, when I wasn't there, she goes, "Oh, you want this chair?" And then when I heard it, I came out, I said, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm joking." I find that very interesting how people change, their conversation. And then their mom was doing that too. She was not so much lying about me, but the dodo bird. They're pathetic. They're pathetic. And then she was kind of targeting this idiot that tried to give away my lounge chair. But she was kind of broadening it in general of all of her kids, saying, "I do everything," which, as you could see on video, she doesn't do anything. And she spends literally the whole entire day watching Vietnamese soap opera. Right where I am studying, right? Instead of putting on earbuds or going up to her bedroom, she has to sit right here, blast her Vietnamese soap opera. So I can't watch YouTube. I can't do live stream. I can't do conference Zoom. I can't, like recently I did some, I guess, like a interview for jobs over my home computer. Can't do that. She just sits, watch Vietnamese soap opera all day long. If that is not torture for anybody, I don't know what is. You hear Vietnamese people act it out. Right? The whole entire fucking day, I have to hear that. So yeah, I heard her lying too. Saying, "I do everything." So I just basically told her in front of everybody, I said, "No, you don't. her on her spot. And she has like this, they live a lot filthier, right? But they'll go nitpick. Oh, there's one spot there you missed, right there. Don't you see it? Because I'm making it up. And then she has this other thing where I'll place something here. She'll come along, move it here. It's like she has, some people have absolutely no life. I'll place it here. She'll come along, move it here. All day. It's like this. I'll tell her, don't do that. She'll come back, move it. And I don't mind if it's a pin, right? But I put food back there for Besito's boyfriend, fat boy, right? Because he needs to eat. He needs water. I have a dog house back there for him. He needs a place to stay. He needs a place that he knows he belongs, right? And he's loved, and that, people aren't going to hurt him. And that's me. So that's what she does. I buy all the food. I lug all the food from the store. She does nothing. Sits home on her fanny, watch Vietnamese soap opera all day. I put the food out there, and guess what she does? She comes along and she moves it in a place where the cats are, you know how animal control says that they check on animal welfare to make sure they have food, they have water, shelter, right? And even if the owner doesn't love them, they're safe, right? She goes and puts it in a place that is not accessible to fat boys. Mental. And I decided that I'm going to expose all of that. I'm going to expose all of it. Whether you want to hide behind a mask, right? A makeup stories, right? Whatever. Or whatever you make yourself out to be. I will be here to pull down your pants. It's all a matter of perspective. And I was thinking today, back to the Mexican girl, little bitch at Big Lots that said what she said to me. Essentially, she said that she said all the other workers in that, might I add, there's about 2 or 3 very unhappy Mexicans can't stand me, right? Because I'm Asian and I'm not Mexican. And the bigger question is, who cares? When she said that, right, she had every intention to hurt me with it, right? And she even tried to persuade me that that is actually the case. But like I said, it's a matter of perspective. If that's the way she sees me, then it's taking a step back. She's a piece of shit for saying what she says. A typical Mexican ghetto bitch in Santa Ana. You heard me. I said it. I ain't afraid. And the reason why I said it that way is because a lot of them do have this air that they think they own the sidewalk. If they're not stabbing each other, Mexicans to Mexican, killing each other over the sidewalk, In general, when I walk down the street, I notice they have that air. It's like it has been on many occasions where I've walked down the street and I've had to like walk on one side of the sidewalk, right? Or even like off the sidewalk onto the road. You know, and then in the relationship of being a bitch, right? Because you Mexican, you know, all I have to say on the defense of the Vietnamese girl that the Mexicans killed, who the fuck do they think they are, right? Who take that girl's life, right? Who the fuck do you think you are, right? Blame it over a selfie, right? Now you think you can claim her life, essentially? And the only reason why they're boo-hooing and crying after being a bitch about it is because they're the ones who gets to enjoy being in jail. But like I said, it's all a matter of perspective. And if that's the case, I'm just here to jab right back at you. So those are some of the things that's running through my mind. Expose people's shit, you know, for what it really is. Cito, you want to go outside? Okay, mommy. Outside? Okay. I like to go outside. I like to go outside. I love you. You be careful. Possums out there, right? So yeah, that's on my mind. And my agenda, right? I don't care what culture you are, right? I don't care if you're black, white, Mexican, any kind of Asian, Arabic. If you act stupid, you're going to end up being broadcast on my show. Welcome to Nas YouTube live stream. So, he's cute. So, right, like I said, like in school, let's clear the tables, right? Set aside the trash across the board too. I'm not just picking on Mexicans. I want to touch base on what I find cute about her. She loves my Italian necklace. She takes it and she bites it. Is it good? You good? You want one? I'll buy you one. I'll buy you one. Put it around your neck for you. So anyways, what I was trying to say in terms of people think they can just name it, right? And claim it. Right? It's my daughter. It's my sister. You want the chair? Because I'm Mexican. Right? Just name it and claim it. All I have to say about that is some of my discoveries today, because, you know, I am, where's my phone? I think my phone's charging. Today's Monday. And guess what, you guys? kitties put my credit card somewhere, so I have to replace it. It won't arrive until Wednesday. But I came across with some more, I feel like, I call it my visions of God, you know? Um, so I came across some stuff today that I thought was interesting. $12.5. Yeah, you know what? My strategy is for all the stupid people out there, especially when I'm trying to get schoolwork done and you got like all these stupid people, right? I can tell you as you move into college and university, right? You try to pull that shit in school, campus security will escort your ass off of campus. Okay, because that's considered a distraction to school and disturbing the school. Not just being just stupid. So, I came across this photo, right? Right here. Ah, this photo. Okay. And before all you guys out there, modern day Christians, start criticizing the Catholic Church, right? Because God's the only one who can judge people, right? Not little Mexican bitches. Have you guys ever wondered what that heart means? It says, what does it mean to consecrate yourself to the Sacred Heart of Jesus? It says consecration means setting yourself aside or apart from, right, for service to God. Okay. Let me make myself clear to all you idiots out there, right? Everything I do, I give it to God, not to you. Okay, get it through your pea-sized brain. It's not for you. Okay? If I mention your name here, is to smear it all over my channel. Okay? And make you look very bad. That's all. It says the church has always advocated consecrating yourself to Jesus Christ through the Blessed Virgin Mary, the perfect model of discipleship. And there was another article, how to make your consecration to Mary, militia of the Immaculata. Okay, I didn't read that article. But what I was shown today was you look at the book of Revelation, right, to reveal something. But how about the word, part of the word, elation? What does that word mean? Right? Have you guys ever took time out to break down things like as far as like statistics and probability, mathematical? This is what it means. Elate. To elate is to fill with happiness. If you are elated, you are thrilled. You are walking in the air. Amen, folks. If you are a Christian, be in good cheers. Okay? Because Jesus is going to come back in the clouds. And we are not made to be cowards, right? We're not made to be cowards. We are made to be courageous. And it went on to say, the late definition, to fill with high spirit, right? YouTube live stream, coming alive, filling people's lives up with good things. Exhilaration, pride, and optimism. And then the verse here that I got for today, because you know how they say the Bible kind of flips open to the page that you kind of need to read. Revelation 1:7-9. It says, look, Jesus Christ is coming with the clouds, walking on air, and everyone will see him. He's not here. God's not here for one idiot. Okay, get it out of your heads. Even those who stabbed him. And all the people of the earth will cry loudly because of him. Yes, this will happen. Amen. Amen means so be it. Right? And in relation to my cross and what I'm doing, right, for my live stream, there's a verse where this is, I'm going to have to look it up on my U version. And I made this. It's beautiful. You guys can't see it because it's, what happened? I'll just read to you what it says. It says, ask and it will be given to you, my cross. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will open to you. Matthew 7:7. 7 is a number of perfection. And where your heart is where your treasure is. Nobody is going to take my kitty away from me. It's a matter of perspective. How I see kitties are born in sets of 4, kind of like the 4 chambers of a heart. They're precious in God's eyes. They're not overpopulation. They're not to be born into this world to be killed. And I am aware of the method at which they are killed. Okay? And it's horrible. And it needs to be exposed so that we have some sort of reform. Kitties are euthanized, folks, at the shelter. by stabbing the kitty in the heart with a needle. Okay? And that's why I think for the most part, the portrayal of Jesus in that statue, there's a thorn around his heart. I'm pretty sure as that upsets you and me and a lot of animal lovers and a lot of people who loves kitties, I can't even imagine how God feels about it. But you can't kill what's meant to be. Okay. Interesting enough, I wanted to expand on my last video about how the Bible says the devil, right? They said the devil. Right? It is to come. Was not, but is to come. Right? Do you know what that means? It means like the coronavirus. The devil is not a living thing, folks. He's from another realm. Okay? Just like the coronavirus, all right? I think we're halfway there if we understand this virus, you guys. It's not dead. I mean, it's not alive. It's non-living. So all you need to do is to not provide it a host. Think of it in terms of like the science lab, and they have a Petri tray, right? And they smear the bacteria, right? For stuff to happen, right? You keep yourself clean and your surroundings clean. This virus does not stand a chance. It doesn't have a host. Essentially, it needs a living host. Kind of like the devil. The devil is not after inanimate objects, although he utilizes poltergeist, right, to get to you. But he doesn't care about the moving tables and chairs. He cares about you. He needs a living host. And, maybe there's a lot of reasons. People have a lot of reasons why. There's many interpretations, right? Some people said the devil feeds on your soul. Some people theorize that he wants your life because he's something he can never get, right? What I'm trying to tell you is the coronavirus is very much like the devil. It is a non-living entity. Okay? So don't be mistaken when they say it's mutating, that it's a like a cat, like four paws walking around. No, it's shifts, it's changing, right? It doesn't mean it's like doing this, with four legs. It's not a living, breathing creature. So we're halfway there. So you're probably wondering, how do I keep from being a host, right? Simple. The Holy Spirit. And also, right, cleanliness is holiness. Keep your house clean. Top of the list, baking soda, tea tree. Okay. If you got a lemon is great in cleaning things. Whatever you have at your disposal, stop making excuses, be clean. Right? Holy Grail. Cleanliness is holiness. If we would have stuck to that, this world would not have its problems. So those are some of the things that I wanted to say. And right now, to remind you guys how powerful Jesus' name is, right? You're talking about somebody who has overcome death itself, who, according to Revelation, can put death and Hades in hell. That's powerful. Let's look at what Hades means. Because unfortunately, we know what death is right now. There it is. What is the difference between Sheol, Hades, hell, and the lake of fire? Answer. The different terms used in the Bible for heaven and hell, Sheol, Hades, Gehenna, the lake of fire, paradise, and Abraham's bosom, are the subject of much debate and can be confusing. The word paradise, as used in the synonym for heaven, okay, when Jesus was dying on the cross and one of the thieves being crucified with him asked him for mercy, Jesus replied, I tell you the truth, today you will be with me in paradise. Jesus knew that his death was imminent and that he would soon be in heaven with his Father. Therefore, Jesus used paradise as a synonym for heaven, and the word has to be associated with any place of ideal loveliness and delight. Okay? I don't want to read that because I don't want to hear I want to hear the Bible, not other people's perspective. Yeah, it's just a brief. I just want to know what it is. I don't want to hear other people's interpretation at an hour. It says Hades, according to various Christian denomination, is the place or state of departed spirits, also known as hell. Borrowing the name of the Greek god of the underworld. It says death and Hades are repeatedly associated in the book of Revelation. The word Hades appears in Jesus' promise to Peter. I say unto thee that thou art Peter, and unto this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it. And in the warning to Capernaum, and thou, Capernaum, shalt thou be exalted unto heaven, thou shalt go unto Hades. And it went on to saying, he descended into hell, the place of waiting, the place of spirits in prison, in which Jesus is there for him to have gone after the crucifixion, because this is known in the Old and Middle English as the harrowing of hell, needed to distinguish from what had come to be more usually called hell, the place or state of those finally damned. The word was transliterated and given a different meaning. There you go. Damned. You know, you hear me say a lot, this damn coronavirus, this damned. Okay? It's not going to control the destiny, right, of everything. You're talking about the realms, another realm of the dead. The damned. Bible went on to saying, store your treasures in heaven, right? Where thieves cannot get at, right? And the moth cannot destroy. But what I'm trying to say, use the cross and God and me, my channel, to close these things out. Okay? I don't care if you're Mexican. I don't care if you're black, white, any kind of Asian or Arabic. If you don't have any place in my life, God's life, and everyone's life, you need to get out. Not me. Okay? And as far as Big Lot's concerned, I would never go back there and give those little bitches service again. As far as I'm concerned, I am going to starve them of a paycheck. Because in my book, it's not what you do for people that's really going to do them over. It's what you're not going to do for them. Kind of like taking oxygen away. And I don't play. Game's already over. I think a lot of these sick individuals across the board, they think I'm going to tango with them. I'm not. I'm not. I never have and I never will. And I will never bow down and kiss your ass. At least to be scared of you. Because you have everybody knows you have sub-zero IQ. Okay? So with that said, I'm going to spend the rest of my video clear off the table of the trash, right? Let's dump it, folks. Move on with life. Let stupid people, you know, while I'm studying, I was going to say while I'm studying and getting smarter, just leave stupid people in the dust. Standing there by themselves, right? The special one over everyone. So here I'm going to work backwards. So Rego saying now is an ideal time. No, it's not. And I will tell you why. And it's part of my art of being smart at 12:31 a.m. So Rego is part of Cengage. So they essentially have the Cengage book and Rego, okay, which is very helpful in making me understand stuff. Cengage, though, the tests aren't hard, but they don't really, like other online programs, really tell you what you should study and how to prep for it. Otherwise, you know, the good programs is like, you know, you're going to prep and you know you can get 100%. Those are the good programs. But here, it says chapter 14, right? And guess what? My class is only in chapter 7. So what does that mean? Should you jump ahead like that? No. Yeah, we're only in chapter 7, which is like halfway in my class. I think a lot of students, they're afraid to look at that. Yeah, we're only in chapter 7. No, I have 7 more. We're in chapter 9. So a lot of students, they're afraid to look at that. Because you're thinking, I feel like I'm in school forever, right? Crunch time. Are we almost done? Are we done? No, you're not. You got 7 more modules to go. And if you look at it in terms of a marathon, right? If you knew there was 7 more miles to go, guess what? You better reserve your energy and pace yourself, or you're going to burn out, which is why a lot of students drop out of school. Okay? So even though Sorego offered me to hit chapter 14, am I going to? No. Because to me, it is important to be on point. Think of it as a very sharp needle, okay? And being sharper, okay? You don't want to lose your point. And I'm not talking about extra credit and deduction. I care less about that anymore. And I feel that distracts you as a student, a scholar, from getting the point of any given subject, which I feel is more important. It's more important than impressing the professor, right? But you know, there are students out there. Oh, they love to be teacher's pet. They love to brag, right? Look at my credit card. Look at my report card. The A's across the board. I am valedictorian, right? Priscilla Chan Initiative, right? Who cares? How I see it, I agree with my first English teacher. Whether you're dumb or smart or brain dead or whatever, we are all the missing pieces of the puzzle, right? right? That's how I see it. But think of it this way. Priscilla Chan. Wow. She's valedictorian. She's the smartest of whoever's of her class. And then what? And then what? Right? Then you can say this, but you can't say this. But maybe you should say this on Facebook. The hell with that. The hell with that. I hear Fat Boy. Yeah, I hear Fat Boy, so I'm going to see if he needs my help out there. I'll be right back, folks, because usually about now there's something going on. I'll be right back. Yeah, so that's Fat Boys. So here's a classic example that all intelligence minds matter, even criminal. Have you guys heard of the nachos that's made by it's made by prisoners who were released from jail. And I think a father with them came up with this grand idea to raise money, to help people like that who's been released out of jail lead a productive and good life, right? So they decided to make nachos. I forget the name of it. I'll try to look up the video. They decided to make nachos and salsa. Okay. And the ingredients in the salsa, nachos, good. Better than the rest. I think I discovered it either at Albertsons or Vaughn's or something. I'm going to have to look it up on YouTube. But it's good. Their salsa and the nachos, it's above the rest. It's made by it's made by prisoners that's released from jails. So that proves my point that, at least on my channel, to me, no mine is a lost cause. We can use all of it, right? As long as, right? You know how they say, great things happen when we put our minds together, right? Even the Bible says that. Where 2 or 3 gathers, right? I am among you. Everyone, right? Let's gather and see what good we can come up. Whether you're a criminal justice major or criminal, right? Whether you're black, white, Mexican, any kind of Asian, Arabic, all minds matter. Dumb, smart, right? All of it. Gifted, mentally challenged, right? Disabilities, emotional, mental illness. Imagine a world where we put all of that together, right? What we can come up with. So I'm not going to do that. See what else? Well, I was going to show you the reason why I looked at the photo of Jesus' heart, because it kind of looks like the photo that I made of myself in a video. So this is my photo. See if I can see it. Can you guys see that? The thing is kind of on my heart, like the consecrated heart, of Jesus. So it means that setting yourself aside. And that is something that I do. Okay? For service to God. Okay? Everything I say, do, who I am, is to God. It's not for anybody else. At least they forget that. But back to my art of being smart. I was going to say I went on back to Facebook. And, Facebook platform is very confusing. And I feel it's very deliberate. Here's how you make sure you get rid of all your photos on Facebook. Okay? Because I already deleted the app and the cache and the data. But they still hold on to stuff, right? So how do you get rid of it? You're not going to get rid of it by going into your profile and seeing the photo, right? And a lot of people on YouTube and elsewhere will say, oh, yeah, it's as simple as just clicking the right pencil, click it, and then they give you the option, delete, 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 right? Nope. Or they'll say, click on the photo, and another option, you'll see 3 things. Click it, option, delete. Nope. Right? So how do you delete it? I figured it out. You go click, open your photos, okay? Number one. And then click on what's been archived, okay? Because believe it or not, Facebook keeps track of everything. Literally everything. I was surprised how much they keep record of what I did on Facebook than I did. So you're going to click photos, number one, right? Click on any of your photos. And then I would have to say in the very top, like photo albums, you're going to see the option. However you click the album or the single photo, click on the option archived, right? And then from there, it'll redirect you to a page what's been archived. And essentially it's the same photos, right? And then they literally keep track of all of it. Even though it doesn't show up on your profile, it's still kept on file. Then you're going to click on the photo, right? Then click on what's been archived. And then they're going to direct you to another page where on the left, you're going to see, this is general setting and all that crap, right, on Facebook. But on the right, these are all the photos that are left on your profile that you can't seem to delete any other way, right? And so there's all these photos, and then you just click all. And that's not all of your folder, that's all of that section. And then delete. So I had to do that, all of it, right? 10 photos, delete. The next 10, delete. The next 10, delete. The next 10, delete. Until I got to the very bottom. Right? That's how you get rid of it. But I can tell you this. Facebook kept everything else. They knew what I liked, what I commented, what friends requests I sent out, who I unfriended, everything. They keep track of everything, and I think that's really weird. But then, I think Mark Zuckerberg is weird, so I'm not surprised. I'm not the only one who thinks he's weird. So please leave these kind of individuals behind, okay? And I was going to touch base on what I learned today in psychology to benefit you guys. Really quick, and then I wanted to go into showing you the U version. What I feel is what is happening right now that can help everybody about how to protect yourself from being attacked in your mind, okay? Really, really relevant to helping people. And I know some of you guys out there, I know it. You guys want me to see me kick my sister's butt, right? Right? Go back into big lots, and I know you guys. You guys love it as much as I do. But we're not going to, okay? We're not going to, because I made a pledge. My channel is going to present things that's going to be vital into making people's lives better, right? So let's leave these idiots, right? Clear off the table. These kind of idiots, put them where they belong and move on, right, folks? So this is what I learned in psychology today, which I did. And by the way, I bumped into one of my security guard friends, Southwest Plaza Mall, Andy. And he's an old man. He walks like this. These are literally the kind of people the Securitas hires. And he was telling me how they hired African-American guy, and he was to guard one of the openings at Southwest Plaza Mall entrance. And he decided to leave, and he literally left that door like open and vulnerable for pretty much anything to happen in the mall. Yeah, so I said, I'm not surprised. I mean, they hired you, right? And then he was saying my supervisor is really, she's in surgery for the next, I don't know, 2 weeks, whatever. What I'm trying to say is that given time, stupid people will prove to you. Okay, let's just put it that way. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I learned in psychology today. Enough about stupid people. So here, it needed to be done at midnight, right, today, of normal psychology. What I did before anything with my CDCR tests in Rancho Cucamonga, you always want to take the given time you have by whatever, right? So I had 9 modules to do today for this chapter in 6 hours. What does that mean? That means I paced myself about 1.50 minutes, right? Now, does that mean that I actually sit there and take an hour and 15 minutes to answer 3 questions? No. And that shows, right, generalization. I'm laughing because when I started Santa Ana College, they did that. They were saying, for every hour of class you have, make sure you have 2 hours to do homework, for God's sakes. For me, I had more than 4.0 in math. That would be N48, which is like 1 up from the very basic. It's a basic math. And my teacher was Professor Lou. She was good. We never read the PDF. She just explained it and we did it. The generalization, right? 2 hours per every hour. No. Not with me. Not with me. It was more like 20 minutes. Okay. And we have a teacher in school. He has a PhD. And he's like up here because his parents are math teachers, right? And basically it was a formula on converting, right, money into telling within a X amount of money how much are pennies, nickels, quarters, right? You remember that? And you have to take like A plus B plus C times the value of the coin. And you figure it out, right, algebraically. And he overlooked that, and I put him on the spot. And he was like, he was like looking at me like, you dare correct me? But him and we get along really well. His name is George Sweeney. Got a big smile. And everybody loves him because he fights for student equality. And for every person that he talks to, he does not talk to you like you're stupid. And pretty much everybody wants him as a math teacher. But I'm happy with Professor Liu. Professor Liu, she's Chinese. And although she doesn't have a PhD, who cares? She covers this topic thoroughly and she's very clear. Which, for all you guys out there who stereotypes like Chinese people, why you Asian people not speak English, right? Or you talk funny, I can tell you, Professor Liu, she'll prove you wrong. She'll prove you wrong. Meet up with her every Friday for 4 hours. She'll prove you wrong. She's very good, very good. I would have to say, out of all my teachers, even the one with the PhDs, pretty much all of my teachers are PhD. I'm so blessed in my life right now. She's the best one. I've had Professor Tumakov, right? Vladimir Tumakov for astronomy. I've had Professor Guzman, Christine Guzman for U.S. history. I've had Professor Timothy Murphy for American Gov, right? The authors of those courses have PhDs. Professor Brian Kallenbach, Arts and Humanity. So when I call them professor, they're not a teacher. They're not MA. They have a PhD. I'm giving credit to them here, like I've always wanted to. I just couldn't find the means of the platform, so I'm going to give credits to YouTube and them. I give credits to them because they made my mind sharper, right? If you imagine a knife, right, the machine that sharpens a knife, they're it. They're it. Blame it on them. They're the ones who made me rude and very rude. But you know what? Think about it this way. At least I have a reason, right? So here, let's dive into it. So what I do, I applied a little bit of my own creative statistic probability because I had to withdraw due to securities work. And I'm hoping to get Professor Liu again. But I said, you know what? If I'm going to spend some time getting in my homework tonight before midnight, I'm going to start from the one with the biggest points down. Because you know how you run out of time? So it was like 14, 12, 9, 5, 4, and 4, 3, 3, and 2. Okay? And then from there, I just I submerged myself into it. Food for thought. Folks, if you change your game plan in studying and just try to enjoy it, time flies by fast, right? Because I think that's one of the chief complaints with students, that sometimes it takes them forever, right? So here, we first talked about psychoactive substance, okay? It produces changes in the psychological states. And I'm glad I'm presenting to this because right now there seems to be a big problem, right, with substance abuse, right? So I hope this is empowering live stream for YouTube. And then it went on to say alcohol intoxication. And this is something I teach my boyfriend too, because I don't want him to go have happy hours. I consider like I'm like his mommy. I don't want him to go to happy hours and something like this happen to him. Because I love him. I don't want to see him get hurt. They said in my book, did you know? Drinking carbonated beverages with alcohol, right, increases alcohol intoxication, poisoning, and death. For example, there's a lot of people, as you know, right, Coca-Cola, rum, right? They don't realize they're presetting very bad state, right? The next thing it says, amphetamines, okay? It stimulates this central nervous system. So let's look at what amphetamines is really quick. I will be right back, you guys. It says this medication is used to treat attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, drug class. Okay. Which, remember I said models use that? That's dangerous to use in general, use things for, it's not made for that purpose, right? That's like trying to use a loaded gun, right? To get a can of food open. It's not a good idea. It's not what it's intended for. You need a can opener. So amphetamine, essentially, they stimulate the central nervous system, right? And they went on to say that a lot of abuse intervention, self-help meetings help, right? And I want to share this with everybody, and I want to share my live stream. As much as I'm doing the talking, I want other people to speak to me and speak here and with other people. Why? Because there's healing in it. Just like substance abuse. You know you're somewhere where you're supported. You know you're somewhere where you can get sympathy. You know you're somewhere that whatever your goals are within that group, right, you're going to succeed. This group is to be smarter, right, and to address crimes, right? So we're going to reach our goal, which we already are. Then it went on to saying indecision that leads to relapse, okay, is the ambivalence, okay? Ambivalence means, okay, if you get to know a new word every day, your mind's better. It's bigger, it's better. Ambivalence means indecisiveness, okay, in giving up substance abuse. It will make them relapse, okay? And they went on to saying usually people who have substance abuse is because they suffer sexual abuse, assaults when they were a child. Okay? Now I want to interject. That is very generalized because I was a child of sexual abuse, but I have no substance abuse problem. Okay? So you look at it in terms of statistics and probability, right? It's very general. They're giving you a very general analysis. It's not like statistics and probability like my teacher, where she's going to sit there 4 hours with you every Friday and, and she's got this beautiful computer board that she highlights, right? It's just great. It's better than the chalkboard. Because like in school, teachers write and then erase it, right? Hers is just really great. And it's online. Then they went on to say social risk. Adolescents, okay? As well as college students. Then they're going to talk into, what things, right, particular to those categories, right? Then they went on to saying something I got wrong. Okay, so I'm being corrected and I accept it. This is cultures value respect for family, authority, dignity, like the Asians, reduce likeliness of use. Okay, so a family that cultivates value, respect, authority. Okay. Then they went on to touch base on what's called pleasure pathway, and that it decreases what's called ALDH, or the breakdown of alcohol, leading to building of nausea-induced toxin. So here I will show you what ALDH is. So that's like your another new word, right? Other than ambivalence. If I show you a new word that's not obvious, I want you guys to kind of, learn it and let it crystallize and make your mind stronger and better with vocabulary. So ALDH is, I had to write it out and I'll show you guys. It stands for aldehyde dehydrogenase. Okay, aldehyde dehydrogenase. Okay, and what is that? It's what they look at to see how much alcohol is in your system, right? This is it. And that's my scribbles. So the AL is for the first word, and the DH is within this, embedded in the second word. Alrighty, so back to where we were. Next page. I wanted to say at the get-go, learning, if you break an hour into 4 quadrants, right? A pie. Think of it as a pie, right? Just like the formula, right? Pi, 3.14, right? I really believe food for thought. And you really should approach learning, like you're eating a pie, right? You should enjoy it. That's why I disagree with Sorrego in jumping ahead to chapter 14, right? Because I did enough homework today. And I've learned enough, right? And it's like if you overeat, right? You feel kind of sick. Same thing with your mind. Your mind is like a sponge. You can only take in so much. But I want you guys to, in terms of food for thought, I want you guys to start to enjoy learning. And learning is a lifelong, right? So if we've got anybody out there, like most of my class, right? Oh, when's final week's going to be over? It's never going to be over. It's never going to be over. If you're truly serious about studying about anything and being a scholar, it's never going to be over. Right? But that's what makes it so special, right? But like I said, leave those individuals in the dust. Then they went on to saying something about twin studies analyze the likeliness that both twins will develop substance use disorder when they're raised in different families. So even if twins were separated, they will, if they've had some kind of influence to right, use substance abuse, even if they're separated, it's still there. And then I saw a video that's very interesting today about how they were finding people who looks like your twins and trying to understand that versus identical twins and stuff. It's very interesting. I might post that video for you guys because I want to throw a bunch of things that keeps your mind like, firing off. right? And it says a dopamine, okay, increase activity, okay? And the dependence is equally, okay, not less than or more so on genetics, okay? There's about a 50-50 ratio. And then they went on to talk about detoxification. Is discontinue or curtailing and use related, okay? Then they talk about positive reinforcement, okay? It's called contingency management procedure. So what does that mean? Give yourself a pat on the back, right? And the recognition you deserve, which, might I say, at the stage in my life, right? That's what I do. I don't really care what anybody thinks about me. Then it went to talk about motivational enhancement therapy. Okay. 1 drink per day. That's 7 a week. Okay. Less than 65%. We can reduce personal restraint, judgment, heightened aggression, and violence. All right. For men, 5 beer, right, in one sitting. For women, 3. 25% over the age of 12 binge drinks. 21 to 25 age, right? 45% will binge 5 times a month. Why? To relieve stress, anxiety, treat insomnia. Believe it or not, right? And I got that one wrong because I was thinking, why would you use a stimulant to treat insomnia? Because they can't sleep. And if you apply a stimulant, like I'm drinking coffee, they'll be up all night, right? But they said, yeah, you can. I guess I'm assuming you can just, the person is so, right, like stimulated and tired, and then they fall asleep and they can get a better sleep. And then it said sedative dependence, okay, is not affected. Release of adrenaline and dopamine in relationship to nicotine, okay? It does not elevate your heart rate, but it does intensify nausea and emotional effect. Okay, nicotine or e-cig, okay, is not the most widely used, but it is highly addictive, like marijuana, okay? And the use of the neuroimaging determined treatments increase impulse control. So what they're saying is that nowadays, to understand the mind, right, is very scientific and not just stereotyping, where they actually go in and take an image, just like a dental, right? And they went on to saying that now they're talking about gambling addiction, okay? That is not only prevalent, right, in Las Vegas, it's worldwide. but it's kind of greatest in the Asian, and now I notice more so in the Vietnamese community where, the Vietnamese, I heard they will hire a big bus, right, to take them as a group to go gambling. And that leads to a reliable definition research on gambling. So what does that mean? Let me explain it. If they say gambling is an addiction, right? Now it's a medical, right? It's not just about money. Okay. And as long as there's no negative consequences, right? But a lot of people who have gambling addictions, you'll hear like on YouTube, well, they will, exhaust all their husband's money or vice versa, right? And literally where the gambling place, they're like, no, you're not coming back in here, just to protect them. Antidepressants, tobacco, right, is an antidepressant. And the drug that deals with that is bupropion. B-U-Pro, P-R-O-Pion, P-I-O-N, bupropion, right? So if you guys hear bupropion, you're going to think, something to treat, like, with tobacco. Antabuse, here's another word. So I'm making a pharmacist out of you guys. Antabuse, A-N-T-A-B-U-S-E, antabuse, side effects of alcohol. Antabuse, okay, when you hear antabuse, AA, right, talk about analogies. Antabuse, A-N-T-A-B-U-S-E, is to treat alcohol, right? Whereas when you hear bupropion, tobacco, and they're saying that the side effects from this medication is why a lot of people get treated for alcohol using this medication and then stop the treatment. And then stimulants, okay, are least successful in treating people who are addicted to stimulants. Those are the hardest to treat, okay? And the clients are weaned, right, off of nicotine, or what is called NRT, nicotine replacement therapy. And that one, now we're going to talk about opioid use disorder. Okay, this is something you hear Orange County Sheriff Barnes, a lot of law enforcement talk about opioids and fentanyl, how they're sneaking in, fentanyl into opioids. So here you're going to understand a little bit more about opioid use disorder. So what it isn't is it doesn't pose any physical hazard, okay? They don't use it continuously, right? What they do, it slows down tolerance, right? Okay. And here I believe we're talking about cocaine, which I didn't write down. What cocaine does, it doesn't increase. It doesn't affect a person's ability. It doesn't create cravings. It does not make you fail in school or home, okay? What it does is that it is recurring, okay? Usually somebody who takes cocaine, they're going to want it again. Opioid, has patterns, right? Somebody on opioids, they're going to have patterns, right? Whereas cocaine, there's physical minus, the increasing need for it. Substance abuse, alcohol, we talked about that. Intoxication, which is different. Okay, intoxicated, somebody's intoxicated, right? It's different than alcohol poisoning. Okay. And then they talk about alcohol and how it affects interpersonal, how it decreases intoxication over time. That's why people develop a physical dependency, drink themselves to death. As far as cocaine, there's a need for increase. What it doesn't do is it doesn't affect your work. It doesn't affect tolerance or excess over time. And a lot of people do use cocaine at work. In terms of alcohol, again, it can pose a physical hazard. It makes people avoid people. It doesn't affect withdrawal symptoms. And cocaine does have physical, okay? Sometimes very bad physical. And I wanted to show some of the screenshots I sent to my boyfriend. And yes, I could share this because it's not like a final, where the teacher is like, "Well, I catch you sharing this," right? I screenshot some relevant things to my boyfriend. About how internet gambling disorder is more prevalent in Asian countries, now the Vietnamese. And let's see what else. And then went on to say internet gambling disorder is more prevalent. Okay, gambling in general, okay, is not applicable. But internet is more prevalent in North America. That'd be us, folks. And this is very true. I had a personal training teacher, and this is all he did in class. He was gambling on his phone. And then I wanted to clarify that gambling is a mental disorder. Okay? So it's a disorder, it's a new mental disorder in the DSM-5 diagnostic category involving a compulsive desire to engage in gambling activity despite the negative consequences. So it is a disorder. And it also went on to saying caffeine. Okay, caffeine, which is an ingredient in coffee, is a drug. That is true. It's a stimulant. It energizes the central nervous system and may cause elation, grandiosity, hyperactivity, agitation, and appetite suppressant. In a nutshell, it creates a mental disorder, and can interfere with your schoolwork. Okay, if you look at in terms of causing elation, grandiosity, hyperactivity, agitation, appetite suppression, this is not going to help you, right, in comprehending what course in school. But monkey see, monkey do, right? People are like, you want a cup of coffee, help you stay up and study? And it went on to saying here, what I already told you about that. I already told you about that. Alcohol reduces personal restraint, may heighten, but I already read you that. But it went on to say, all sedatives have calming effects, but they have different mechanism of actions. Alcohol not only in the most widely used sedatives, but also has the most complex effects on the body. It affects all systems of the body simultaneously. In comparison, the other sedatives work in the central nervous system alone. So you learn something new. In the complement or opposition to various neurotransmitter systems, alcohol should be avoided with other sedatives, as high doses of either the alcohol or sedative can produce a lethal outcome. And I will try to touch base on what some of these sedatives are. Then here are some of the things that I forgot to do, right? So, sometimes in life things happen. We just want to forget about it, right? But sometimes those might be what you shouldn't overlook, right? So this is what I missed. I don't know why I missed it. I guess I missed it and then I clicked turn it in. But it says, of these choices, disorder most highly correlate with substance disorders, bipolar. Other disorders also highly correlates are major depressive disorder, post-traumatic, and social anxiety. All of these major mood or anxiety disturbances can be temporarily alleviated by self-medicating through substance use, repeat use, combined with particular effects of the substance use, such as relaxative properties, can easily lead to a substance use disorder. Okay? And these are the ones that I forgot to answer. Then they're going to give me the answer. And this is the same to what I say, all brains, right? Right? Fill in the missing spots. It says here, the one thing they taught about this is it's not like Michael Myers, okay? You have to analyze people accordingly, right? Not just Halloween. So in the first case of Vanessa and her husband had been taking care of the mother For the past several years, she dealt with numerous health complications. Over the past 6 months, her condition steadily worsened, and she recently passed away. So, category, the death of a parent can be profoundly stressful, even in cases where the loss is anticipated. The emotional impact can also be accompanied by feelings of guilt. It's common for the surviving children to ask whether they did enough to help, which can lead them to question their own self-worth. This tragic event falls into the general life stressor category. Iris has been having nightmares, right? We all do, okay? And that's why, in the end, I will give you some Bible verse to combat that, okay? I'm going to make a special series on that. In each one, she relives an episode from the past where her father is beating her with a heavy leather belt. This is bringing back like PTSD for me. Believe it or not, folks, YouTube is right in that we all have a lot more in common than our differences, right? It's not an isolated incident. This example falls into the category of childhood maltreatment. A broad term, it includes emotional abuse as well as physical and sexual. Right? Right? Picking on little girls. Well, guess what? This girl is no longer little. And I no longer allow it. It is now well documented that significant or prolonged abuse during childhood is connected to several psychological disorders as well as substance abuse. I don't have that, but I have to admit I'm a little bit of a shopaholic. And then it went on to saying, these are the steps. What are these steps for? I was going to say, I want you guys to teach you the art of being smart for today. So when you're taking a test like this, okay, you read something, you're like, sounds correct. Sounds correct. There's nothing about it that doesn't sound false or funky, right? But how do you know it is the correct one? Well, you have to look at the whole entire context, sometimes of the questions or the given answer. So, it's that puzzle. It doesn't matter if it sounds correct. It needs to click with a given context. Does it answer the question given the context, right? And does these other answers sound incorrect? Then you know that's the correct one. So here it says, substance abuse follows a consistent pattern of steps. In the following table, choose the appropriate description for each step. So here, these are the steps. It says, I need to pick up my glasses tomorrow. I have prescriptive glasses to pick at vendors. A person chooses to explore the use of controlled substances. Person needs are met by the use of the substance, and psychophysiological adapt to the substance presence of the substance. A person changes behavior and conducts because of the substance. So these are the stages, right? And as you can see, I'm pretty thorough. You really don't want to leave any rocks unturned, right? Guess what? Because how I see it, you cannot come to a conclusion or any sort of comprehension without completely reviewing everything, right? And then you can completely put it on composition, right? And that's my art of being smart. Now I wanted to prep the stage of my next video, which is something YouTube said to save time at 2 hours. You can do it alone, but for the sake of being a body of Christ, we're going to do it together. So on the YouVersion app, which you guys might have not set up, okay? I'm going to show you the beautiful visual, what we are going to combat together in the next several series on my YouTube. Winning the war in your mind. Because there's a saying, I don't know if you guys ever heard it. It says, you cannot fight your enemies when it's posted in your head. Right? Prisoners of the mind. So, winning the war in your mind. Our first series that we're going to touch base on the next several days is devotionals for Philippians 4, 8, and 9. And you guys are welcome to look these up in your Bible yourself, hopefully a YouVersion. They are almost near 500 million, okay? Proverbs 23, 7, Romans 12, 1 and 2, 2 Corinthians 10, 3 and 5, okay? The next day, we're going to review devotional, Matthew 4, 1 through 10, 2 Corinthians 10 through 5, Psalms 119, 9 to 10 to 11, Hebrews 4 and 12. And I hope that as I move along, I welcome people to come here and have fellowship. And we can build each other up instead of tear each other down. Like I see so prevalent right now in the world. You're not alone. I get it too. November 3rd, or the next series, it's devotional Colossians 3:16, Matthew 4:4, Psalms 119, 105, Psalms 119, 11, 2 Peter 3:16, 17. So the YouVersion app did you guys a favor in putting all this together in terms of winning the war in your mind. The next devotional is Philippians 4:12, Zechariah 8:13, 2 Corinthians 9:8, Philippians 4:19, Romans 12:2. Okay. The next one is devotional Romans 12:1 to 2, Philippians 1:12 to 14, Philippians 1:20 to 27. The next one is devotional Philippians 4:4, Acts 16:34, Acts 16:26. And the last one is devotional on this issue. Devotional Romans 12:2, Hebrews 12:1 to 2, Hebrews 13:5 to 6, Ephesians 2:10, Romans 8:31 to 39. Right? Those are all the series and chapters that's going to help us all win the war in our minds, right? Right? From people who has rotten minds. I know I am not the only one who has met those kind of people. I'm pretty sure a lot of people has. And, God's word is going to give us a little helping hand how to combat that. Like when it's people shoot off their mouth without thinking. How to combat that. And how to win. We are here to win. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful, sweet night. I thank YouTube and my subscribers. I welcome more subscribers. I welcome everyone to share my videos. I hope my video in some way has been spiritually uplifting and to break down something useful, the art of being smart. And for the most part, to encourage you guys to come on my live stream and actually have a conversation with me. I know, before I didn't really allow that because I had a lot of unwanted conversations. I felt like, right? And then a lot of it was like porn link scams. A lot of it was just really, really strange, inappropriate, weird, like people on YouTube. But this is more reasons why people should come on my channel and participate in the live chat so that, we have, right, that healthy connection, right? Build that healthy connection for the YouTube community. With that said, again, I wish everybody a sweet night and tell you guys to turn on your notification because there's a lot more wonderful things I want to share with you and on YouTube.